Yo, yo, YouTube Nation, YouTube world, what's going on? Big D here. Rob is on mute. We can do us a quick audio check real quick before we go live to make sure you guys can hear us okay. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I don't know why I'm not hearing it here on my. I must be muted. Oh, that's why. How does it sound, everybody? Big dummy
Sounds
me.
good.
Sound good. So we're ready to rock.
I'm trying to set up my pop-out chat right now.
Yeah, I did that too.
I forgot to do that in the beginning.
Well,
Right.
you guys, some people noticed last week that my background was blurry, and I had people saying, "Oh, your banner's out of focus, and this is out of focus." So I'm using a Panasonic G7, which is a mirrorless camera, and I've got a really nice lens on it, so I can set it with a very short depth of field, so things behind me might look a little blurry, and I'm supposed to look crispy as possible. But yeah, that's why it looks a little different, because I'm not using a webcam anymore. I'm actually using a capture card and a legit camera. So those who are new that haven't seen the show before probably won't even know what I'm talking about. But those who have seen it before may notice a difference, but that's what it is.
Oh, man, Brad. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate the super chat.
He said, let's get this party started. I feel him.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and share the screen, and we'll get the party started. Five, 4, 3, 2. 12 Volt Talk, episode 49, Old School SPL Challenge. What's going on, guys? This is Derek from Williston Audio Labs. Here tonight, as always, well, as most times, with my good buddy, my co-host, Mr. HiFiVega. How's it going, Rob?
It's your boy HiFiVega. I'm here. I'm ready to talk about SPL old school challenges.
You know, challenges is a big thing right now. YouTube is locking down a lot of people who are putting out challenges because they're doing, eating Tide Pods and all kind of crazy stuff. So I was watching something the other night on one of the YouTube creator channels where they talked about that. So we'll have to be careful that we don't get shut down because we use the word challenge.
We're just going to make you spend all your money on eBay. That's the worst part of this challenge.
And Brad at Legends of Car Audio is loving us for coming out with this because he's got so much cool old school stuff. You guys are going to want to go see him. Yeah, because he's pretty much got whatever you need.
And he's already, from what I've seen on Facebook, he's got some firepower in there already.
Yeah, he's laying down, like a 40-watt amp that's like, 6 feet long or something.
You got to do this every time. 40 watts.
40 watts. That's like at 0.0000002% THD. But no, so those who joined us a couple weeks ago may remember Craig at oldschoolcaraudio.au .com.au down in Australia. I can't do the accent, so don't let me try. He joined me and we talked a little bit about this, and actually I showed some pictures of cheater amps and things like that. But we decided, since Rob is back from his vacation and we don't have a guest this week, that we'll just go over pretty much the details of the Old School SPL Challenge, and we'll talk about some of the things that we chose, some of the reasons why, and then we also gathered some questions from the audience, and we'll go over those. And if you guys in the chat room have questions as we're going along, or you need clarification, just ask here and let us know, and we'll do our best to cover everything to make this as clear as possible. This is our first time, so you guys are going to have to give us some leeway. We used a lot of the rules from the $150 SPL challenge that T-Fade and Skip01 have been doing for a while, and just kind of modified it to be an old school deal. So, Rob, do you want to talk about number one here, the very beginning? Tell us what's up and what's some of the restrictions.
Okay, well, since we did borrow this from T-Fade and Skip-01, the first rule we changed is all amps must be 2005 or older. So, you want to talk about the reason why we decided to do it like that, and we decided on that date?
Yeah, we went back and forth quite a bit on this, and we got the community involved, and there was some thought of not having a year. Why should it matter? Because we have wattage limited classes. So even if you were to go to 2019, you got to stay under 500 watts. So it's not like a person buying an amp today is going to find an underrated amplifier that's going to help them in this competition. Plus, we didn't really want to limit the number of participants. But with all that said, we want it to be an old school challenge, and we're allowing people to use whatever subs, whatever electrical, all that stuff. So we had to kind of give it an old school flair. I mean, I really wanted to do like year 2000 and older, but then again, we were afraid that we're going to limit it to too few people. So that's kind of why we just set it in the middle. 2005. There's really not a lot of cheater amps I'm aware of after 2005. Rob, do you know of any?
There is some like the Zuki and a few others, but after 2000, cheater amps started slowing down anyways because the concept and 97 and all that. So we figured 2005 will give people a chance to get out the old amps that are not 30 years old but are like 15 years old, something like that. So we extended a little bit, just like you said, to make sure we get everyone in, even though we do understand that everyone considers pre-2000 old school. But I'm telling you right now, there's guys out there that might tell you unless it's before 1990, it's not old school. So it all depends on your point of reference and when you were born and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, we talked about that before many times. A lot of people have a different idea of the description or the definition of old school. And for me, it's like whatever's old school to you is cool. But in this case, the year 2005 or older, then you might say, well, Big D, how do I know if my amp is 2005 or older or what models? Well, we're going to try, Rob, and I'm going to try to help with this too, to get some of the directories put in. I'll just take pictures with my phone and we'll put it on the Facebook page, figure out a way to do that. But if you have questions, you can email Rob HiFiVega@gmail.com, or you can email 12vtalk@gmail.com. And either Rob or I will look those up for you to make sure that you fit in the class or fit in the year 2005 or older.
Right.
Sure, there may be some questions about that.
And if before we get too far into this, there is a Facebook group on Facebook. It's Old School SPL Challenge. So you guys go there, join. It's a public group. If you leave questions on there as well about the age of an amplifier, I will post the date of it so everyone can see what date it is. And if you have any questions, I have all the directories up to 2006. Just hit me up, HiFiVega@gmail.com or 12vtalk@gmail.com as well. Because, Derek's a busy guy, so I'm trying to pick up the slack here.
And those who are in the chat, I just posted the link to the Facebook group in the chat. If you haven't joined, we've only got about 15 or so people in the group. So go ahead and join. I'll also put it in the video description here of the YouTube video. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, please just go to youtube.com/12vtalk. Check out episode 49 and check the video description. And you'll see the link that takes you to Facebook. If you don't use Facebook, you can go to oldschoolstereo.com. I've already created a post there. I'll edit some of the changes that Rob and I have gone over, but you're not going to be able to see all the updates there. You're not going to be able to see the pictures and stuff like that. You really need to be in the Facebook group. It's too much work for us to modify the Old School Stereo page. It's just not, Facebook is so much easier. I know a lot of people don't like Facebook. I don't like it either. But for things like this, it's silly not to use it because of how easy it is.
And all the rules are up there. what we're going to read off tonight, you'll hear it from us right now, but every rule is written down. It's in the announcement portion of the page. So just click on that. There should be 2 of them. And yeah, you can see everything there.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. So the number 2, and this one, we thought about it again because we're talking, when we get to the classes, you'll see why this really shouldn't matter. But number 2 is you can use any subs you want, any amount of subs, any size, any year. You can use brand new ones. You can use ones from 1975 that came out of your, Technics home speakers. We don't really care. You can use anything. But when we get to the classes, you'll understand why it doesn't matter. Because if you put 8, level 5 DC audio 18s in your Blazer, you're going to be limited by the power quite a bit. So unless you know a lot of tricks, it's not going to really help you to have a lot more subwoofers.
Yeah,
Plus,
for sure. And
yeah,
and the old school subs, they're not what they used to be. They're falling apart at this point. So we figured we need this new sub rule in here to actually make the challenge work.
yeah, because that would have really extremely limited the number of people if we would have said, oh, 2005 or older amps, 2005 or older subs. That would have been a big challenge, because my whole thing about a lot of these challenges is you want to try to get budget stuff, like go to Parts Express or go to Amazon or eBay or somewhere like that and pick up some gear just to have fun, because that was the cool thing about the $150 SPL challenge. You didn't have to spend a lot of money. In this case, you may be able to find some of this stuff locally at pawn shops or whatever. A lot of people don't know a lot of these old amps, some of these cheater amps that put out quite a bit more power than they're rated. And that's the part that's going to be fun, is to see, what people are going to do here to get good SPL numbers. So I'm excited and thought this would kind of rejuvenate maybe some of the excitement of old school.
For sure. We want those wall hangers off the wall and in your car. And we want videos and pictures and all that good stuff. That's stuff we love seeing, and I think it'll be fun. As a matter of fact, I used to be a huge cheater collector, but now I literally don't have any, not even a single cheater. So I'm gonna be out there hunting as well, right with you guys. So don't raise the prices up on me too much.
Yeah, you did. In fact, the picture that's in the Facebook group is Rob's, and he's got Crossfire, he's got Lanzar 50C, he's got Orion 225 HCCA, he's got MTX 225 HO, Phoenix Gold, MPS series, all kind of good stuff. So Rob, I'll let you go with number 3.
Let me unmute here. Number 3. All classes will be divided by manufacturer's 4-ohm stereo rating. Now, to clarify this on my part, we're going by what is in a directory or a user manual, something that you can post up. We will allow either the 12.5 volt rating or the 14.4 volt rating. We're not putting any restriction on that because we know that we had that question a few different amps rated for Iasca back in the day.
Yeah, and again, if you guys have questions about the ratings, Rob and I both either have directories or we have accumulated a lot of manuals over the years. It's one thing I've kind of hoarded is digital versions of manuals. Whenever I can find one, whenever I can get somebody to scan one in, I've got my Dropbox and I've got a lot of manuals on there, especially a lot of the old school amps and the cheater amps. So we can look those up for you. Now, we say 4-ohm stereo rating. We are assuming that a lot of amps people are going to use are going to be stereo amps that they're going to bridge in order to get more power. Now, we're not excluding monoblock amplifiers. If you have 500 watt or less mono amplifier, that's fine, but we're looking at the 4-ohm rating for that as well. So 4-ohm stereo, which would be combined. So if you have 25 watts times 2 at 4 ohms, that's a 50 watt amplifier. If you have 100 watts mono at 4 ohms for a monoblock amplifier, then that's a 100 watt class. So we'll talk a little bit more about the breakdown, of the classes here in a minute as well. So next, Actually, no, we probably need to talk about that now, Rob, because I don't see it listed anywhere else here in the
What is it?
notes. Is it listed further down? Did I just miss it? Yeah, never mind. We'll get to the classes here in a little bit. It's a little bit further
Yeah.
down. My bad, in the document. So the next item is the SPL measurements. And we went back and forth on this one quite a bit too about, the $150 SPL challenge. You can put the mic anywhere in the front of the vehicle. They didn't care. And a lot of people use the kick panel because it seems to be the best place to give you a higher number. But we decided to make it old school. You have to put it on the windshield. So it has to be on the windshield, and your windows and doors have to be shut. So windows up, doors shut. We're going to do sealed vehicles just for the heck of it. No, the numbers are going to be smaller, but anyway.
It's a legal score. I mean, it doesn't matter if the numbers are smaller anyways. It's still everyone's on an equal playing field, I figure. So we're not going to get those crazy, we may get a 150, 160, who knows? But if they do, they're going to be putting some serious work in.
Well, Ronnie Smith, Mr. 6.5, is out there. And so I'm pretty sure we're going to see some 150s because I think he can do it with a 5-inch speaker with about 25 watts.
No, I think he uses around 4,000 watts. That should have been rule number 10. Ban Ronnie Smith.
No, he's too much fun. If you guys haven't seen, he did a video I was showing Rob earlier with the 6.5, where a single 6.5 he got over 150 dB in his Jeep. He was feeding it quite a bit of power, but still, it's pretty impressive.
Sure. Yeah, he's got that Cherokee set up. So speaking of that, rule number 6 is all subwoofers must be behind the B pillar, just like in the regular $150 SPL challenge and most everything else.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything shocking about that one, so I don't think there's any question. I think we skipped over the mics, Rob. Maybe I didn't mention it. That was my bad. So in the last one, when we were talking about the SPL measurements having to be taken off of the windshield and when doors closed, windows sealed, we're also looking for Term Lab, SPL Labs, SSA, APM2, the pressure sensors. We're not going to allow the variations of the audio control mics or any of the other mics that have been used over the years. Just do the variances, and the pressure sensors are just so much more reliable with the results. So that's the reason why we decided to go that way. I know some people say, well, I've got an old audio control and it's old school to use that. You're welcome to if you want, but it's not going to be an official score. So if you want to maybe try one versus the other. And then, of course, the other thing people say is, well, I don't have a Term Lab. I don't have an SSA. I don't have an SPL Lab. Well, we're talking with shops around the country and I guess around the world too, if we can get involvement to find out who would, be willing to offer up their equipment to help out, the patrons here of 12 Volt Talk, to find out, hey, this is going to help you guys by having some people come to your shop maybe that wouldn't normally come if you help them out by spending 10 minutes or so and helping them get a score. So we're trying to work out a network of dealers that are going to help with that. And again, check the Facebook page. That's where we'll have all the information about it.
Yeah, for sure. And, Brad's already said he's in Kentucky. He's got a mic available and he can do scores. So anybody else that is willing to do that for us, hit me up, 12volttalk@gmail.com or HiFiVega@gmail.com. Let me know. I'll get you listed up on the Facebook group, and we'll have your shop up there and all that type of stuff, so people can check it out.
Yeah, and I mean, the dealers have to think of it this way too. This is a good advertisement for them, right? You're helping people out by letting them use your meter, but you're also getting your name, getting your store put up on the site, and like I said, you get more traffic in. It's never a bad thing. So I think it's good all the way around. We always talk about this being a community and trying to bring the interest and people back into the interest of car audio. So we're hoping this will be a way to kind of enhance that somewhat.
Yeah, and on a secondary note, the contest will end Monday after the OSS fall meet, which should be the third week of October. If you plan on attending there, you can bring your system. We can meter it there, and that's where you can get your score if you want.
That is another option for those who are near Dallas, Texas, because the meet will be near Dallas. So next up, let's see, we talked about the subwoofers being behind the B pillar. Any enclosure that is closer than 12 inches from the lowest point of the headliner will be considered a wall. And we'll talk further down when we talk about the wattage classes, what it means to be walled class. We didn't want to have 15 different classes, 0 to 50 watts walled, 0 to 50 watts non-walled. So you'll find out when we get a little further down what it means to be walled. It's going to really penalize you, but maybe not, because we're only going up to 500 watts total.
Yeah, for sure. And if you are walled, you are automatically put, this is rule number 8 or 9, you're automatically in the 251 watt to 500 watt class. So no matter if you're running one single 225 HCCA, if you have a wall, you're at the highest class automatically. And we've done that for simplicity, just to keep, try to keep it level across the board. But obviously the higher class is going to be more competitive with the people using the walls.
And so I decided to share the screen here a little bit so we can kind of show people that are watching this on YouTube. The next thing up is the different classes. We kind of talked about it, kind of mentioned it a little bit. So we decided on 4 different classes: 0 to 50 watts, 51 to 100, 101 to 250, 251 to 500, and then the part with the asterisk where we talked about walled. If you are using a walled setup, you're automatically going to be put in the 251 to 500 watt class. So it'll put you up there, and it'll be, I guess, a little bit more difficult with the number of people that can go there based on the type of amps we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And I see someone asking about a Power 1000. That's what, 250 watts by 4 at 4 ohms?
125 by 4.
So you'd be in the 500 watt class.
No,
But
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's. Gosh, why I should know this.
Well,
I think it's 125 or no, it's 150 by 4. 150 by 4, so it wouldn't fit in this challenge.
Yep. So basically, if your 4 ohm rating, 4 channel, 2 channel, whatever it is, if it's over 500 watts, you can't use it. It won't be available for this challenge. This isn't the only challenge we want to do, but this is the first one. So we got to have rules. Otherwise, everything's in there.
Yeah, and it was just going to be too Wild Wild West to allow 501 plus or whatever. And just, I don't know. That's kind of the idea behind this, is to see what people could do with a little bit of power. Granted, if you use Orion concepts that are rated at half a watt per channel, and they're really like 800 or 900 watts, you really gotta you could really use a bunch of those and still fit into the 0 to 50 watt class. But our whole thought was, how cool would it be to see somebody with like 20 of those amps in a van, powering some whatever kind of subs. I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure. And the people, we're trying to get the cheater amps out there. So, I'm sorry if your amp wasn't rated to be a cheater amp back in the day, hey, maybe when the next challenge comes around, you'll be able to enter. But that dims the rocks basically, because we're trying to do cheater amps. So
yeah, we'd even thought, when we first talked about all the different challenges we want to do, we even thought about doing like an Orion 225 HCCA challenge and just having it so that's the only requirement, is that you have to use one of those. Things like that we may do in the future, so you might want to think about that, those who are looking, because you might want to go ahead and pick one up.
Or a fuse limited rating.
Fuse limited, but that will be difficult to police, unfortunately.
Yeah,
people could cheat that one. But yeah, I think is fun. That's what it's all about. This is for fun. This
Yeah,
is not, you're not going to win $1 million or anything. So y'all don't go out and go crazy. Just pull your amps off the wall. Do some late night searching on eBay.
yeah, for sure.
Get
Oh,
back.
and there will be prizes too. So we're trying to we're gonna at the very least we'll have a prize for first place in every category, which brings up the point of you can enter as many categories as you want. You can enter the class from 0 to 150 or 0 to 50. You can enter every single class, but you can only win one. So if you happen to win every single class, you pick the one you want to win, and then every other class will be won by the next closest score.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just tell them, they can post all their numbers, but yeah, they kind of have to choose which class they want to be in. Um, so yeah, so that way it makes it fair because some people may have more means to do this and maybe able to win all the classes, and that wouldn't be cool for everybody. So again, this is for fun. This is to see what your old school amps can do. You might blow your amp up. Who knows? You might find some cobwebs inside those jokers. Make sure you take the bottom plate off and check them and blow them out with some compressed air before you use them. If you're using Phoenix Gold, check those caps, get them replaced. But this is it's a fun thing to do. The $150 SPL challenge was fun. Rob and I both entered it, and just we didn't really care if we won or not. It was just all about joining into the fun and excitement.
Yeah, it's fun to do. And we're going to reach out and see if we could get more prizes. Brad said he's willing to donate some stuff. If we do that, I'm going to try to get where we can do first, second, and third of every class, but I can't guarantee that yet. I just know that for first place in each class, we will. Hopefully there'll be more. Maybe if we get enough donations, from companies or people alone, then we can have like the most unique install and so on and so forth.
That would be fun for sure. In fact, that was one of the challenges that we talked about. Again, Rob and I have been going back and forth, and we've kind of posted on Facebook too about different types of challenges. We just have all kind of ideas about how to make this exciting. Like I said, the 225 HCCA challenge, the best install, see who could use the most old school equipment, things like that. But for this one, we figured we're going to try to make it so it's not super tight. In other words, people should be able to pretty much find something that'll work in the classes, but we wanted to see what people could do with this limited amount of power and with the creativity. And also, like Rob said earlier, take the things off the wall and actually try them out. Who knows? The amp repair guys may be busy because of all the amps people are blowing, but I can tell you guys, I've tested a lot of amplifiers all the way back to the 1970s. And I've had very few of them even run them on the amp dyno with those super tough resistive loads. I've had very few of them blow up. Unless Rob and Jason were here, then usually everyone I test blows up, but we won't get to that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I blew up a few myself, so I can't say much. But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to have fun, and if we can, if it's feasible, maybe we'll get plaques or something like that we can mail out to people to make it a little more fun for the people that didn't get to win first place or whatever. But that'll be upcoming. We're not ready to announce anything on that besides first place prizes.
And maybe we'll do something neat like maybe like a coffee cup or something that says Old School SPL Challenge. I mean, these things like this aren't super expensive. We'll figure it out. Again, just kind of giving you guys some time. I mean, this is the beginning of July. We're talking all of July, all of August, all of September, and most of October. So you have almost 4 months to get your stuff together and decide which class you want to join, or do multiples and just try stuff out. Just test and just have fun.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. Add ask here if we're looking for prize sponsors. We sure are. So if anybody wants to donate and be part of this challenge, that's awesome. big, little, or small. Anything is pretty cool with us.
Yeah, as the same way with the shops, obviously, people who donate stuff as sponsors, you get your name and your company name put up too. So scratch our back, we'll scratch your back kind of thing, because this makes it cool for the people who could win. Now, Rob and I will both probably both do the challenge, but we won't be included in any of the results. So
Well, no,
we
I'm gonna
can't.
be I'm gonna be including the results. We can't win no prizes though.
Okay, you can't win. So
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm gonna try to enter more than one class, and I know you have plans too.
I have a few plans, but
He keeping the cards close to the vest. He's got that big that Plaw Punk sub box. He's got that massive audio set. D sneaky. You got to watch him.
not so much. That 6,000 watt massive audio sub is not probably going to be powered by a Punch 45 though. I don't know.
It'd be funny though.
110 dB maybe.
Yeah, do it for your first run.
Can't even fire the meter up. Can't even measure it.
All right. What do you say we answer some questions that we got on Facebook and YouTube and all of that?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll start off with this first one. So this is someone asking about the power class clarification. They wanted to know if the amplifier manual is suggested at the 12.5 or 14.4 ratings. We've already covered that. You can use either one. So dealer's choice.
And there was some question about daily driver cars versus cars that are just sitting around. We're not gonna set any stipulations one versus the other. That will be too difficult for us to try to police anyway. I understand, people that have custom built, custom designed interiors for SPL are going to have, a leg up. But again, you could really nitpick this down to the nth degree so that there would be like 4 people that would enter, and that's not what we want. We want to get as many as we can.
For sure. And on the same note, someone asked about a blow through in a truck. Will that be considered a wall? And for this challenge, we're not considering that a wall. So if you have a blow through already, run what you brung.
Another question was any extremely low power builds, 25 watts or less. Sure, you'll just be in the 0 to 50 watt class. So we didn't want to have 15 different classes. I think 4 or 5 classes is enough. And that was the reason. Just didn't want to have too many. I just thought it would, especially for our first kind of deal here. It's a lot to manage for Rob and I to help out. So it's, we didn't want to make it too complicated.
Yeah. And I just seen a very good question in chat by Jason Zymer. Where and how do we submit our scores? So my ideas on that are, if you don't use Facebook, that's cool. Email us a video or a video link, a YouTube file. That's probably your best bet. Upload it to YouTube. Send us a link, 12-volt talk or 12vtalk@gmail.com. And then we can put your scores on the Facebook page for you through that. So either upload it to the Facebook page, Old School SPL Challenge, or put it on YouTube and send us a link. You got any extras?
Yeah, I just saw one. Does the SPL have to be in the car? Not sure that I understand the question. Yes, you have to take the measurement from the windshield with the vehicle sealed up. So I don't understand how.
Maybe he meant the amp. It's fine if the amp's outside the vehicle.
Yeah. That's okay. If that's the clarification, then it is a good clarification, because that would be a way that you could cheat versus not, is having it external to the car and have it hooked up to 16 volts. We're not checking all that. You don't have to have the amp in the car. Amp could be on a test bench. Run the speaker wires out to the car. That's fine.
We both done that in the 150 challenge. So, I mean, that's a valid way to do it if you got a strong test bench.
It's an easier way to try multiple different setups that way too, without having to install the amp and all that. So definitely it does not have to be installed in the vehicle.
And we did have another question from our buddy, the third era, Edward. He asked if you can record video from a sanctioned event for your entry. Absolutely. Absolutely. That'd be great, you know.
Yeah, just make sure when you guys record videos, and I see this all the time, people doing this. Okay, your TV that's mounted on your wall, how's it mounted? It's mounted this way. Turn your phone sideways. It's not that hard. See? Hold on, ready? See, you can do
It's
it.
all the flip cam's fault.
It is the flip cam because it went like this, but the flip
Yeah.
cam actually recorded landscape while it was
Yeah.
held up.
But they started that trend of holding it like that.
Well,
So I
if you
blame
think
it all on
about
them.
it, a lot of people only watch the content on their mobile device and they don't watch it on their TV. So for them, it's like, oh, I see more of the picture this way when it's vertical, but please turn it sideways. That's my only request. Just turn your phone sideways.
Yeah, for sure. I think I seen a good one here, and then I forgot it. Oh, OG Airbender asked about how can we meter this. For that information, right now, Brad said he's willing to do it. Anybody else? I know Derek had a few emails of people willing to do it. So all that information will be on the Facebook page. We don't have who can do it right now, besides Brad and us at the fall OSS meet in what's that? What's that? What's that little town called? It's outside of Cuffman. Scurry,
Scurry,
Texas.
Texas.
Yep.
We don't know exactly where it's going to be yet. So, greetings from Brazil. Nobody wants vertical phone recordings. Yeah. Rick says, thank you for the demo of the, yeah, to get people. I might have to show that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
While we're waiting, let me shout out our super chats. Brad, thanks, buddy. Rick Quattlebaum hit us up, and Charles Brown. Thank all three of you.
and Jason Zemer at the very beginning, before you joined, Rob, he also hit us
All
up.
right.
Thanks, Jason.
Jason.
And Brad is Legends of Car Audio. If you do a search, legendsofcaraudio.com, it'll take you to his eBay page. He's got a lot of old school equipment, so you can hit him up if you need some gear for the challenge. Let's check and see what else we've got here. Somebody made the comment that Samsung is going to make a vertical TV. Okay, if they make a vertical TV, then you can use your camera that way. Otherwise, turn it sideways. Let's see here. All phones to the right. Love it. Dean does 5-star videos wrong. Okay, Ken. So the reason Dean does it that way is because he does some of the live stuff for Instagram, and Instagram does want you to do a vertical video because Facebook owns Instagram, and Facebook is. Do you like that sound?
Yeah.
They're crazy at Facebook. So don't use them as an example of how to do things the right way.
And we got a very, very good comment here from Travis McClendon. I don't think some people understand the contest is based off the sub amp only, not all amps in the vehicle. That's something that we didn't make clear, but for sure, only the sub amp counts. Whatever's on your subs, that's what counts for your power class, not every amp in your vehicle.
Now, with that said, what frequencies does the SPL meter measure? Because you could have some horns in there and do like a 1 kilohertz burp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could have done that in the $150 challenge if you're wanting to blow your eardrums out. Yeah, that was you could do that. There was no frequency cap.
Oh, well, I've never tried a higher frequency on those meters, so I don't know what their range is. Does anybody know in the chat room?
Ed says 20 to 80 hertz.
Okay, so that's good. You can burp at 80 hertz. No sweat with that.
Yep. Oh, Brad asked if we're making the Facebook page dedicated to it. Yep. It's already up, buddy. It's the Old School SPL Challenge, facebook.com.
I'll post the link again into the video chat, to the chat room.
Chuck says his sub amp is 600 times 2, so even one channel of that gets you out.
Let's see. How can you keep modified amps out? Well, you have to remember who posted that question. Chris. You have to remember back in the day how many people used to take the end plates off of the US amps, high voltage models, and put the high current ones on there, and how many people did the same thing with the Orions, put a 2250 and a 2100 HCCA. We can't, I don't tell people to do things like that because I think that is really cheating. But again, what is a Concept 97.3? That is a 1 watt amplifier that's about 850, 900 watts. So if you're really going to worry about splitting hairs that much, then again,
yeah,
we can't get
it. If that's the intent, like this contest, if you are very, very serious about the rules, this content or contest is probably not for you, because we have allowed a lot of things. And I mean, we could have called it the Old School Cheater SPL Challenge, because that's kind of what we're focused towards. So there will be, maybe someone has 5 of the Concept 97.3s, and if they do, they're gonna decimate all. I'm sure.
Yep, that is the fact. But it'll still be fun to see what people come up with. You're not competing for sponsorship. Yeah, I mean, it's it gets the rabbit hole gets pretty deep if you start getting into details.
And if you cheat that much, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is we're going to look at you like this, with shame in our eyes, like you're a bad person and you know it.
Yeah. don't be sweating. Don't sweat small stuff. This is all for fun.
Thanks, Cam Corkle, for the super chat, and Sean Blum. I believe that's how you say it.
And I'm gonna post my let's see if I can make this big enough for people can see it. I'm gonna post up some examples of some of the models. I talked about it before. And I guess, Rob, we could probably post this on the Facebook group as well.
Yeah, for sure. Isn't that posted up?
Maybe
I believe it is. It's in one of the announcement posts. There's 2 of them. This one's one, and the other one's the rules. Sean Bloom. There we go. Correction.
Yeah, that gives you some ideas. Like US amps had the VLX series, Orion, obviously HCCA series, Concepts, Lanzar 50C, Crossfire, CFA series, Hyphonics Ulysses and Isis, Rockford Power 50X2, PPI ProMOS, ProArt, Phoenix Gold MPS, Soundstream Class A, Audio Art HC amps, Earthquake UHCs, Planet Audio HCs, Crunch SHC, Memphis HC, MTX MTA 225, MTA 250, 225HO, the Mats D100 HC. That's an example of an amp from around 1997, 1998 that's rated 200 watts at 4 ohms, but at 1 ohm, it's rated 1200 watts. So that is as far as we go here, that's a pretty good cheater amp.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're using the MTX MTA 225 or 250, you can be highly disappointed. I'm just telling you, those things did not put out what they're supposed to, unlike every other MTX amp ever made.
Yeah, well, you remember why? That's
because they were made by PPI, right?
Yes, they were PPI, and then PPI, they made everybody else's version of the PPI amp kind of a little bit laggy behind the real PPIs. But
yeah, they be fooling.
But the 225HO is a boss amp. You could get one of those in the 0 to 50 watt class. And what did that one? I'm trying to remember what that one dynoed.
It's like almost 900 watts.
Yeah, 900 watts. It's pretty strong.
Yeah. So Jason Zymer asked, where will the videos and pics of competitors' entries be posted? The Facebook page, Old School SPL Challenge, Facebook. So everything's going through there. whether if you email it to me, the link from the YouTube video, I'm going to post it up there. So everything's going to go through there, all your information. And, Derek from time to time may try to update the Old School Stereo page when he can.
Yep. That'll be good. And what we'll probably do too is when we get to the end and get the winners, we'll do a little compilation and show like all the videos as one video from the different classes, and maybe either Rob or I or both of us will do like a voiceover over it. And we'll also throw in some of the unique stuff too. Like if somebody just did a really clean install just to show it off, we would do that. So you guys have fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. Just have fun and see what you can get out of your old school cheater amp.
Yeah, it's all about fun, man. That's what me and Derek won almost last place. Oh no, Derek's a world record holder. I totally forgot about that.
That's right, and don't you forget it.
Yeah. You need to get it on your shirt or your hat, like have it.
I can get it embroidered.
Oh,
I sure might do that.
You should. I've been this is a total side jag, but I've been just destroying the family at air hockey, and we went on vacation, and oh man, to them, no, I'm just lucky. I'm lucky. There was our small arcade in the resort we stayed in. I demolished them. I told them I was going to get a white shirt and write with a marker on it. Vega World Champion, Air Hockey Champion 2019.
Yeah, we have to enjoy our little spots of fame when we can. But yeah, the SPL challenge thing was a shocker. The only reason I won is because I was the only one that entered a specific class, but nobody has to know that. I just didn't even say that. Nobody else entered the walled class, and I wasn't really walled, but I was closer than 12 inches in one spot, I think, on the headliner.
Yeah. All that matters is the story that's told. It doesn't matter the truth. So
true
in
that
10 years, they're just going to remember you're a world champion.
And that I broke Savard's
truck. Or Savard, yes. The Savard excursion.
So while we're here and we're kind of, going over some questions and stuff, I did want to show off something this week. Hopefully it'll show up okay with my new camera. But this is the Crossfire CFA 15HC. I don't know how many people have ever seen one of these, but you'll see one here soon on my YouTube channel. But here on the bottom, it's actually got jumpers for going between high current and high power mode. That is really cool that you can do that. So I posted some teasers up on my Instagram and also Facebook, but I'm doing a dyno drag race battle between this amp and the Orion HCCA 225R, which both of these came out in approximately 1998. And this one is actually brand new. I don't know if you can tell how mint it is, but I got this one from Keith Daniels off of Facebook, and it was literally brand new out of the box. I took the plastic off of it. But
Keith, he's local to me. He had a serious setup with some Crossfire 30s, and I think he was running the CF2 18s, like 4 of them in a single or a extended cab. So yeah, he's a big Crossfire head. I'm a Crossfire head. I love those CFA amps, and having it against my all-time favorite amp, the 225 HCCA. I don't know. I'm gonna root for the 225, but I got a lot of love for that 15 and the 30 HC.
It'll be interesting to see. So I figured, kind of with everything going on here with the Old School SPL challenge, that I would do a little dyno drag, because it's sometimes fun to take two, pretty like power rated amps, although the Crossfire is 15 by 2 at 4 ohms and the Orion's 25 by 2. They're both much more than that in actual power, but it'll be fun to see how they do. So y'all stick around. I'm gonna try to get that done for this weekend if possible. But yeah, it'll be fun. And I've got some other amps too, based on what we're talking about here, that over the next few weeks I'm going to be doing as well for dyno drags, and I'll probably start doing some SPL tests as well. But fun stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a good time to get these cheater amps out there. so everyone could check them out right before the challenge, get hyped up, figure out what they're going to buy. So I'm going to try to beg, borrow, or steal. I'm not going to steal, but I'm going to beg and borrow.
Well, if you look, there's several. I mean, I've done some old dyno tests even before I had the dyno. You can see the Lanzar 50C. You can see the Orion 225 HCCA, Soundstream Class A 10.0, Audio Art 100HC, things like that. Earthquake 40 UHC, I think I tested. So
there's not very many old school cheaters that you haven't tested. There may be a few out there, but I think you've tested almost all of them, especially ones that'll be used within this challenge.
the Hyphonics Ulysses or Ices, I have not tested, and I know those are pretty good. But what you guys have to remember, and what you'll find out when you see the video of this amp, high current mode on amplifiers, it's not always the best. In fact, it hinders the amplifier quite a bit. But you'll see what I mean when we do the test. The power difference is just incredible.
You know, that Ulysses is one I never got my hands on either. I had opportunity, but those things are not cheap. Those might be one of the most expensive cheaters outside of like a VLX or something like that.
And I think if we ever did a dyno test, they wouldn't be quite so expensive, because I don't think I think they're rated, was it 360 watts at 1 ohm mono, something like that.
Yeah. And they probably do a little overrated, but not crazy.
Much. Yeah, not much. They're not going to be more powerful than a 225 HCCA. Let's go back and see if we have any more questions. Do some mystery dynos with the amp covered and give us a few hints while doing the test. That might be cool. It's a good idea. The Kicker XS 100 was teased but never done on your channel. I tested that one myself. I'm trying to remember. That's back when I had the 250 amp power supply. And I tested the ZR1000, and the XS100 is the high current version of that. And those things just pulled so much current. I couldn't keep the 250 amp power supply was not enough to power those. And also those had the hateful tiny they weren't even 4 gauge. They're like 6 gauge power connectors, and they needed so much bigger than that. I hated those.
Yep. I know that the XS50, I think, I've seen burst sheets for like 650 watts, something 700 watts. Yep. So
yeah, the XS100 I'm sure does 1,000 watts. So
and the ZR, if you load it down, it'll do almost 2,000 watts. So
let's see, Arc Audio. I don't think I've ever tested an Old School Arc Audio. Yeah. Did we miss any questions, Rob? I didn't see any.
No, I think we covered it. You want to talk about what we got coming up?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. So I don't know what I'm coming up. I've got about 4 projects, and I don't know which one I'm going to do the video of first. So I'm building a quarter wave enclosure. That'll be coming up. I'm recreating a home theater subwoofer setup, so that'll be coming up. I'm finishing my enclosure for my Savard 6.5. Plan to do a review on that as soon as I get that done. And I don't know which one of those 3 is going to come up first. Oh, I've got an update to the 1-aught shootout for OFC cable. I've got 4 more brands that I'm going to test. So, I've got a new test bench too. Man, I've got a lot of stuff. So, I don't know which order it's going to come out, but that's what you'll see from me.
Well, that was like a super big tease there. You got so much stuff coming out. I already talked about the Orion 225 versus the Crossfire. That's coming. I'm kind of like Rob. I've got a lot of other things I just haven't prioritized for what I'm going to do next. But I bought that dual DIN, double DIN head unit that does Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That for like one day was $107. It's gone back up to $199 again. So I'm gonna try that. I bought the Pioneer something 512 head unit that Brad Schulke likes. It's 4-volt preamp out, so it's like $100. It's got a really cool app feature that you can use it with your smartphone. I'm going to try that one out. I'll do the massive round of tests with output power, voltage output from the RCAs, test the interface, all that stuff. Also, the Bluetooth adapter for the old Alpine AI Net head units. I've seen people talk about it online, and I bought one maybe a year ago, and I've been using it for a year on my test bench. Whenever I play back music, whenever you guys see me play back, like I hold the phone up and I'm playing back Bassotronics or, whatever kind of old school Magic mic, that's actually Bluetooth into the Alpine head unit through this little adapter that goes into the AI Net, and then I'm usually going straight to the amp from that. So that thing's been working flawlessly, and it was only $20 or $18, something like that. So I'm going to review that coming up as well, even though it's not much to review other than it works pretty good. Because if you want to do an old school head unit, like one of those old school Alpine AI Nets, either cassette or CD, get this Bluetooth adapter and bam, hook your phone up. You just be able to stream. You won't be able to do, like voice, like with a microphone and all that, but just for streaming, hey, that's cool enough for most people.
Yeah, for sure. Be able to use something old school or old school-ish with Bluetooth convenience, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, and I don't have any updates on the hot rod yet because I'm trying to farm out some of the work that needs to be done to it because of my other schedule of things that I do with day job and with making videos and family stuff. I can't devote the time because most of my free time is spent, making videos so I can release them on the weekends. So I'm gonna try to get that out. I got a good buddy who does good work, and I'm gonna let him do some work on it for me to get me ahead a little bit so I can get to a point where I can actually do some of the stuff. I don't really care if I do it all, honestly. I just want to enjoy the car. But that'll be coming up too. As soon as I get a chance to do some more stuff, I'll show you. I know I probably show the car a lot because it's in the background of my lab, but yeah, it's coming up. So
yeah. Well, plus I think people want videos about audio from you, and less about the working on an old school car.
yeah,
That takes away your time from working on audio or videos about
that's
audio.
true. I mean, I wouldn't be able to release the videos if I did that, even though I want to. But I'm not a mechanic. I've got some mechanical skills, but I'm definitely don't have the skill to do everything that I want to do in that vehicle. And for me to learn it as I go, it would take a lot of time. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated, but I can't wait to get the car going and the sound system in there that I want to have because I think it's going to be so cool.
Oh yeah. I think. What do you think? We sign out and go into after talk and.
Yep, we'll do that. So those who are listening here on Google Play, Spotify, or Apple Podcast, make sure you go to youtube.com/12etalk. Check us out there. Go ahead and subscribe to us. We're getting close to 2,000, I think, Rob. 2,000 subscribers.
We're over.
Oh, we're over 2,000.
Over 2,000.
So not doing too bad, and we're having a lot of good feedback from the show. We do have some guests coming up in the next couple weeks, and we'll continue to have more. And we just appreciate you guys engaging us here on YouTube during the live show. If you have a chance, I know everybody can't watch us or listen to us live, but if you can, every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, we go live on YouTube for about an hour, a little bit, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. Otherwise, you can catch us Sunday evenings. The podcast is available through Google Play, Spotify, or Apple Podcast, or if you have other catchers that use RSS feeds, they can pull it off of SoundCloud. So just check us out there. But anyway, that's about all we have. Make sure you check out the links in the video description so you can hook us up, hit us up on Facebook and find the group and more about the Old School SPL Challenge. Shout out again to Legends of Car Audio for the super chats. Thanks everybody in the chat room for hitting us up and helping us out, support the show. Helps us get new cameras, helps us get fancy stuff that we can use here and make the show better for everybody. So thanks again. Till next time.
We out.
We out of here. All right.
All right. So now we can talk about BMX.
Yeah, I don't know how many people actually saw. How many people were in the chat room and saw the pictures that I posted? Rob wasn't you. I don't think you were online when I posted that stuff. Were you, Rob?
What stuff?
My BMX pictures.
I don't remember. Well,
The stuff hanging from
maybe.
the ceiling. Did you see it?
You done it on Craig's, right?
Yeah.
I watched that. Yeah, I watched that live.
Okay. Oh yeah, I thought I had easy access to the pictures that I posted, but
Jeff Allen, the anybody asking about the challenge rules, Derek has left a comment with the link to the Facebook group. Go to there, you can check it out. You don't even got to be signed into Facebook. It's a public thing, so you can see it. You can see all the rules, see everything that's up there.
And I'm also going to post a link to oldschoolstereo.com where I updated the page where it's got the rules. I don't think there's much that's changed, or maybe one or two little things that's changed since I updated the page.
Jason Zymer says, my sources say Dean from 5 Star is a forthcoming guest.
Ah, Dean would be a good one.
Yeah. Boy, Dean and Fernando. Who we got next week? We got a preview for that.
Yeah, next week we have Brad Shulky. It's not Shulk, it's Shulky.
I was gonna let you say it the last name. I wasn't gonna try it.
I'm gonna get him to confirm that, but I think he did a little live stream earlier this week on the lithium group. He was talking about some of the stuff about the lithium that was going back and forth with. I guess there's some drama between the lithium groups on Facebook, and
you could say that it's much like a lithium battery. They're pretty much burned down the groups.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but yeah. I don't know all the drama behind it, and I don't really care to know it.
No,
but all I can say is all of my dealings with Brad and all of the stuff I've ever seen him interact with other people, he's always been super helpful. Nothing but that. You never see him be, mean to people. He's never saying stupid stuff to make people do the things wrong. He's always been real helpful. So that's kind of my feeling about it. But we do have some new lithium stuff coming out, and I know you guys probably cannot see this on my phone because I can't refocus right now, but y'all see that?
Bus bars
for Yenlongs. I've got my buddy at Toolmaker, Mr. Anthony Jude, making some bus bars for the Yenlong lithium LTO cells, and I can't wait to put those on my test bench and add them to the pack so I can try that Taramps MD8000 that I still have of Chris Walters.
You still got that?
I'm surprised he hasn't come to pick it up yet, but yeah.
Timmy D said, did Rockville start making lithium batteries? That's the reason for the drama? Shots fired.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of an upcoming video, I bought a Rockville 6.5.
Yeah.
K9.
Don't smoke it.
that you guys are going to see, and of course you did see in the last video if you watched it, the 6.5 inch Savard, the box that Rob built. I still cannot believe how much bass is coming out of that 6.5 inch sub. That box is killer. That sub is killer. Wow, it's unbelievable. Rob, you're gonna have to share your box design or something, or
That's
sell it.
yeah. That I still haven't finished mine. I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do it soon, and yeah, I've got some video of me completing mine.
You will see. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and making it 10 times harder, I decided to use it out of a hardwood, make it out of hardwood. So yeah, that wasn't the best idea on my part.
Yeah, the lithium thing, and I didn't mean to jump back, but the lithium thing, there's so much
Fanboyism.
fanboy, but bad information too.
Yeah,
People, oh, lithium will catch on fire. Lithium is trouble. You don't want to use that. Do some research before you make your decision. I'm working pretty hard about trying to do some videos where I'm explaining why I decided to go with LTO for the test bench and why I bought some of the lithium iron phosphate batteries to use for other stuff. And yeah, it's they're pretty incredible. If you watch some of the videos and see those headway cells, we've talked about those before, but you can get, I think brand new, they're $20 a piece. They're 8 amp hour. You need four of them to make a 12-volt bank. They can be charged up to about 14.6 volts. They're pretty incredible. You watch the videos of them pulling 100 amps for like minutes off of this one bank of cells. It's crazy. I mean, that's $80 worth of cells. That's cheaper than a battery, than a regular battery, a flooded battery.
yeah. But you got to be careful with those used cells as well.
No,
That
that's the
that's
new ones. The $20 a piece are brand new. If you get the used ones,
but
they're
you
$44 for four of them. So they're only like $10 a piece. But
okay.
you can buy brand new ones from, and I'll have to find the link to put, but I've already found the website. They're brand new. They're official headways. You have to get the red ones. Don't get the blue ones because the red ones have the higher discharge rate that you need for car audio. They're pretty sweet, but I'm going to be showing them coming up. Brad has shown some on his Mazda 2284 YouTube channel. You can check that out. But yeah, I'm going to do some video too. I might do a collaboration with him because he's got so much more testing knowledge with him. But we're definitely going to get some more information out there. I don't want people to be
Yeah.
scared of it. I just don't want people to think that if you don't do your research, then you know what you're doing. You just really just don't assume anything, but
Yeah.
also know that the stuff is pretty killer.
Yeah. And, and to be fair, it can be killer. That's a lot of energy in
It is
small
a lot of
cells.
energy. You do want to be careful, super
Yeah.
careful. But I mean, hey, if you're not, if you don't build boxes, then you have somebody else do it for you. You can have people build these things for you if you want and still use them. And you just have to understand how to charge them, and you have to understand how they work. But some of them have built-in protection circuits. They have balancers that balance all the cells. They have low voltage cutoffs. They have temperature cutoffs. There's all kind of ways to make these things super safe. So just don't write them off just by thinking, you saw a fire with lithium that, oh, they're all going to burn up. Kind of like the Tar Amps amp that I showed years ago that people still say those amps catch on fire.
Or your Samsung phone. Remember that?
Yes, or your Samsung phone swelling up, or your vertical Samsung TV. Can't do nothing
Yeah.
for you.
Let's see. Timothy Lowe asked about Baltic birch in the States. There's a website you can order it from. It's about $60 a sheet, and that's for a 5 foot by 5 foot sheet. And that's how you know if you're getting Baltic birch. They only sell it in 5 foot by 5 foot or smaller.
Wow. Pro tip:
Pro tip.
burn it down. Ronco says I sent my K9 in for repair and they sent me back a random used K9 with ton of scratches and surrounding glue in the dust cap and a very used coil.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's kind of like the Scar amp that I bought that I sent back, and they sent me
Yeah.
one that's even scratched up even worse.
Timothy Lowe, I don't. You can just Google Baltic Birch, and it's like top 10 in the search results. So you'll see this site. I can't remember the name of it right off the back or off my head right now.
Come on, Joaquin. He keeps his MDF and crappy plywood, and he wants his non-lithium batteries too. Come on,
he,
man.
he's a young dude, but he's old school at heart, huh?
Starting to sound like an old man.
I'll
Get
tell you
off
what.
my lawn.
I've been switching from MDF, man. I was a diehard MDF guy, but that stuff is so heavy, man. I've switched to a. It's not a birch plywood, but like a sand plywood. So it's nicer. It's grade 8. It's not just regular plywood, but it just doesn't have this super nice finish like the birch. But it's $12 cheaper than birch plywood.
Yeah, that's what, if people saw my Savard 8-inch box that I had built for me, that's what they use. The same thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good to me. Did either of you test a BD1000A? I'm pretty sure I did, and it was not a super underrated Rockford amp, which usually they are. I think the BD1000A was one of their first class Ds. Isn't that right?
Yeah. What?
It's an
Yeah.
early class D for Rockford.
Because it was still a black and grind amp, wasn't it?
Yep.
Originally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Dan brought one over here one time several years ago, and we tested it, and it was not. I mean, it did its rated power, but it's not like it did a huge number above it.
There you go. Jeff Allen found the Baltic Birch, $49 plus tax, 5x5, use hardwood. There you go.
There you go.
I'd like to place a big order of that stuff, but I just don't got nowhere to store it, Order about 10 sheets of it. It'd be nice just to have on hand.
They have it on Amazon. You can get it prime delivery.
I wish. They don't.
They don't?
No.
Why not? They got everything else.
Yeah.
There is a lightweight MDF out there, way lighter. How exactly do you make MDF light?
They do got a lightweight MDF. It's not as light as birch, but yeah, they do, and I can't remember for the life of me the name of what it's called.
What do they do? They stuff foam in the middle or something?
I don't know, man. It's something, and I didn't believe it at first either until I seen it, but they do make it.
Yeah, you have to use MDF because lazy people won't steal your stuff, is what JDR says. That's a good idea. If you make it too light, they're just going to be there. Oh man, I can take this out, put it on my shoulder.
That's why I stay chubby. No, I don't want no one to walk off with me. Had to do the dad joke.
Yeah. Too bad you can't dono one of the T15Ks. Oh, I'd love to dono one of the T15Ks.
Yeah, you'd have to get get your lithium backup going.
Yeah, there was only what 20 of them ever made, and I think what that guy that Mead does installs for has got 2 of them. So there's really only 18 out there in the wild.
Yeah, is that legit numbers, or is that like concept 97.3 numbers?
What, the T15?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 15,000 watts. It's not underrated or anything, I think.
I mean, like as in number of amps produced.
Oh no, it's true number. I confirmed it. They were what, $19,999 when they came out, I think, for the T15K.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was.
I think that come out when I was out of car audio, I believe.
Yeah, it was 2006 or 2007. Somebody will correct me in the chat room if I'm wrong, but yeah, it was because I
Yeah.
remember when I put out the video of that crown, that JBL crown for 2004. I'm like, the world's most powerful amp. People were like, that's not the world's most powerful amp. I said, did you see the year? But yeah, the T15K at the time was the most powerful, and it was 2006 or 2007, something like that. Alrighty.
Yeah, I think we're ready to wrap it up.
I think we're good. So I hope everybody has a great 4th tomorrow and chills out. And hopefully most of y'all don't have to go back to work on Friday. I do have to go back to work on Friday. So I will
Yeah.
working man.
Well, and then hey, the show next week is gonna be on Thursday, right?
That's right. Next week is Thursday. We're doing an odd day because we had to accommodate Brad. He can't do Wednesday because he works. So we're doing Thursday. So Thursday, what is that date? Today is that'll be the 11th of next week, July 11th.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So you guys have to figure out something else to do next Wednesday. We'll see you Thursday.
All right, guys. Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope everybody has a good holiday. Be safe. Don't blow up yourself or your lithium batteries.
If you do, video it.
That's right. Send it to us. 12vtalk@gmail.com. Peace.